This was peak hypercar, man. 2.2 seconds to 60, 12 years ago. How about that? You've got a 6.3 liter naturally aspirated V12 and one electric motor, making 950 horsepower. Nothing sounds like it. It's really incredible. And I'm convinced that that was the peak for the hypercar. I think that the way that the hypercars are now, and this is a car, when it came out, a lot of people did not like the way it looked. I was one of those people. I thought it looked weird, and I love it now. I love it. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the holy trinity of hypercars, which I believe is the best era for the hypercar, where we reach the peak with the right balance of performance and technology while still having the visceral driving experience that you want to get with a supercar. These cars were incredible when they came out. 2013, 12 years ago. It's been a while. It's amazing. Time is flying. So the holy trinity, you have the McLaren P1, the Ferrari La Ferrari, and the Porsche 918 Spyder. All these cars are mid-engine rear-wheel drive and have hybrid technology, gasoline and electric for the first time in supercars. Begin with these three cars. They all have carbon fiber monocoques, butterfly doors or dihedral doors. It started with the McLaren P1, which was the successor to the McLaren F1, which is widely regarded as the greatest supercar of all time. As you know, McLaren F1s have been selling, when they do sell, which is rare, for over $20 million, which makes these three cars seem like a bargain in comparison, if that's even possible for seven-figure hypercars to seem like a bargain. The McLaren P1. The McLaren P1 is powered by a 3.8 liter twin-turbo V8 and one electric motor, making 903 horsepower. 903 horsepower. In 2013, they only made 375 P1s, making it the lowest volume car out of the Holy Trinity. The first one I saw was the Triple F Collections P1 at a Savage Garage event in Montgomery County in 2021. It's the first time I saw the P1 in person. The silver one at Miller Motor Cars, which they had for a long time. I think they still have it. I'm not sure. If you know, comment below. The silver P1, which was at the Concours shows, Greenwich Concours, Caffeine and Carburetors, and many other shows around Connecticut. And they also had a Volcano Orange P1 that I saw around 2022. So I've seen at least three McLaren P1s. They also made other variants like the P1 GTR and the P1 LM, which are extremely rare and also aren't street legal. Although I do think one of them has been converted. I think one of the GTRs has been converted. If you know, comment below. The P1 had a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. This is around the time where they were really starting to perfect dual clutch transmissions, and they were really taking over, and the manual gearbox was disappearing. And we were upset about that, but at the same time we could appreciate the performance that came with these dual clutch transmissions, because automatics were really interesting, finally interesting. And actually this went back a few years before with the Nissan GTR. The GTR had that dual clutch when it came out, and nothing could touch it. Remember those early GTRs with 2008, 2009? That was pretty wild. So much better than a CVT transmission, right? The P1 also only weighs 3,280 pounds, which, considering you've got a twin turbo V8 and a big battery in there, that's pretty lightweight. That's pretty lightweight. It was tested 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds and a quarter-mile time of 10.2 seconds, and did a sub 7-minute time at the Nürburgring, which was really impressive for 12 years ago, and is still an impressive time today. Moving on to my favorite of these three is the Ferrari La Ferrari. If you ever get to hear one of these, it's just, even for a Ferrari V12, it just, nothing sounds like it. It's really incredible. La Ferrari was made originally as a coupe from 2013 to 2016. They made 499 of those, and then later the Aperta version from 16 to 18, where they only made 210 Aperta units. You've got a 6.3 liter naturally aspirated V12 and one electric motor, making 950 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, quarter mile in 9.8 seconds. Still incredible performance for today. What a car. I love these. And this is a car, when it came out, a lot of people did not like the way it looked. I was one of those people. I thought it looked weird. And I love it now. I love it. It's a lot different when you see pictures versus when you see something in person. The first time I saw the McLaren Senna in person, I was shocked at how much I liked it. Because when I saw the pictures of the Senna, I thought this thing is hideous and the giant rear wing, but in person, different story. So you got to see these cars in person. And if you're lucky enough to drive them or go for a ride in one, that's even better, man. That is even better. And you're getting the 7-speed dual clutch with the Ferrari as well. Big improvement over the F1 gearbox from the Enzo. The F1 gearboxes were notorious for having problems, just not really as fast and or as reliable as Ferrari's dual clutch transmission. I believe the California was the first dual clutch to come out. Then the 458 also had the dual clutch, and the La Ferrari as well. Weighing in at just under 3,500 pounds. And again, for having a big V12 and an electric motor, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Incredible performance, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, quarter mile in under 10 seconds, 9.8 seconds. Unreal, just unreal, man. They don't make them like they used to. Anything else you guys want to add about the Ferrari LaFerrari? Comment below. I've seen a bunch of these because Miller Motor Cars in Connecticut, one time there were 6 of them in. They were selling at least 3, and they were like 3 in for service. And I saw a black Aperta getting loaded up on the truck, which was probably the coolest one I've ever seen. Also, there was one in the DC area, a red one that I had seen at DC Exotics Cars and Coffee around. I guess I've seen 7 LaFerraris so far. Moving on to the Porsche 918 Spyder. They made 918 of these, so they produced more of these than the Ferrari LaFerrari and much more so than the McLaren. But these are just wild. You've got a 4.6 liter naturally aspirated V8 and 2 electric motors. And you're making 875 horsepower, but you look at the specs, 0 to 60 in 2.2 seconds, quarter mile in 9.8 seconds. And Porsche's known for underrating their horsepower. We know that. So I'm sure if somebody put one of these on a dyno that it would make a lot more power. Porsche always underrates their power, and there's nothing like Porsche horsepower, man. A base 911 with 380 horsepower or whatever it is, and it feels like 450 horsepower in anything else. I mean, Porsche horsepower is just something else. So you've got the naturally aspirated 4.6 liter, 2 electric motors, you know, all the goodies, carbon fiber monocoque. They did test one on the Nürburgring with the Y-Sock package. The Y-Sock is basically lightens it up a little bit, enhances the aerodynamics. It's the most track-focused version. And of course, Porsche offers Y-Sock packs in many of their other cars, notably the GT3, the GT2, GT4, I believe they do as well. Lighter weight, you get stickers for emblems, stuff like that, more carbon fiber, more aerodynamics. 2.2 seconds to 60, 12 years ago. How about that? This was peak hypercar, man. What are you taking out of these 3? What are you taking? There's something about the way the McLaren P1 sounds. It sounds like no other turbo car. It just has this raw, mean, nasty sounding rumble that you don't get out of a turbo car. I don't know how they did it, but it's incredible. And then the induction noises and everything, oh man, it's nothing like it. And the 918, the naturally aspirated V8, oh man, it revs like crazy. Peak hypercar, I'm telling you, peak hypercar. And these cars are crazy money for us mere mortals. I want to say the P1 is probably the best value because they only made 375 of them. And there's some of them, I believe, for sale around the 1.5 million mark when they pop up, 1.5 to 2 million. I know crazy money, man, insane money. Nothing that I'm in the market for, obviously, but that's probably your best value since they were ultra low production. 918 Spyder, I think they trade for around the same amount, but they made a lot more of those, 918 of those. But hey, it's a Porsche. Everybody loves a Porsche. You get Porsche reliability. Although don't be fooled, because with Porsche's hypercars and like the Carrera GT, the maintenance can be really finicky and really expensive. And the Ferrari LaFerrari is the one to have, but I mean, I don't think you can get one for under $3.5 million, $4 million. The collectors just buy those up and don't want to sell them, unfortunately. But man, that is such a cool car. If I was a billionaire, the car that I would buy would be the Ferrari LaFerrari. I would rather have that than a Bugatti Chiron. I'd rather have that than many other cars, than most of the McLarens out there. I just think it's a special automobile. and it may be the last flagship hypercar from Ferrari with a V12. So they're only going to continue to go up in value and become more and more unattainable. Cons with these cars. What do you guys think the cons are with these hypercars? Now, number one is the battery replacement. You're looking at $150,000 for a battery replacement on any of these three cars. 150 grand for a battery. And batteries aren't that exciting. Even if it comes from a Ferrari, it's still a battery. I mean, a Ferrari, if you're replacing a Ferrari engine, at least there's a little excitement there, right? You're getting a new engine. You get to break it in. You get the sounds and the smells and everything. They look beautiful. You can change the exhaust if you want. You know, you can mess around with it, but a battery is just storage. It's just stored energy. It's about as exciting as filling up your tank of gas, getting a new battery. So that's your biggest con with these three. But hey, if you got that kind of money, that 150K is like going to Mickey D's and getting a McDonald's meal. It will be interesting to see what happens in the future. Was that the peak? Do you think that was the peak of hypercars? Do you guys think 90s was the peak with the Ferrari F50 and the McLaren F1? Manual gearboxes, no traction control. That was definitely, I think, the peak for the raw hypercar. The rawest, most visceral experience you could get. And then I think tech improved and peaked out with the Holy Trinity, where tech really improved things, but didn't completely hamper the driving experience. Just my opinion. Oh, and as far as 918 Spyders, I have seen a few of them at car shows. I've seen, I want to say Porsche Greenwich. No, I saw a Carrera GT at Porsche Greenwich. I saw a Carrera GT at Pagani of Greenwich. But I saw the 918 Spyder. I've seen two 918 Spyders at Manhattan Motor Cars. The black one that they never titled, which is amazing. You got to see that. And then also there was an acid green one for sale in 21 or 22, I believe. Looked amazing in acid green, by the way. But I love this stuff, guys. I just love all kinds of cars. I love to talk about them. So comment below, get in the conversation, get it going, because I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. If you like these cars, if you love these cars, if you hate these cars, I know some of you guys probably think they're a waste of money and hate them, and that's fine too. I can respect that, man. To me, there's just nothing cooler than the automobile. Nothing makes me happier, or at least nothing that's man-made, I should say, makes me happier than the automobile. Obviously, there are things that are way more important than cars. But man, I love cars, and I love it, man. I love it. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to cover or talk about. If there are any types of vehicles you want to discuss. I can always use ideas for videos, so please comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, and we will see you next time.